The Dr. Tommy O Show takes a comprehensive approach to our community's healthcare needs and concerns. Well, it's good to be back at BronxNet Studios. I haven't been here in a couple of years because we've been doing some on-site videotaping, so it feels good to be here. I'm blessed. We have a really good show today. It's a very important topic, something that's not addressed in our community, and especially by the mainstream media. Today's topic is to aspire, and I will get into how I came about with that show. But first, I would like to go over some information because this is important to recognize those individuals that helped make this program come true for us. This show's a collaboration with BronxNet, Lehman College, Dr. Bishop Timothy Birket, myself. This show is supported by Diamond Accounting, Church Life Community Church, Health Education Learning Programs, Inc., TransJazz, and Prospect Avenue Pharmacy. So like I said, what's the show about when I open up the show? The show is called To Inspire. Let's define to inspire. To seek, to attain, or accomplish a particular goal, such as a particular career or level of success. That's important because that message is being lost today. It's not being taught to our students. When I grew up on Long Island, and I'm a 70s child, 70s, 80s, because I was born in 64, so now I gave away my age. Yeah, I'm almost going to be 50. But in the 70s, there was a heavy emphasis placed on pick a career that's going to offer you the lifestyle you want. 2, you can be anything you want to be in life. That message is being lost. So to aspire, how did we come about this topic? 2 months ago in July, I had a conversation with a childhood friend of mine, and I'm dedicating this show to Freeport, where I grew up, as well as Christopher McCoy. Christopher and I were childhood friends. We had an hour-long conversation, and we were talking about the community concerns, specifically the black community, and we were focusing more on the youth. And during this conversation, he said that the youth, they feel that there's no opportunity for them. And that really bothered me. And I asked, I said, Chris, do you feel that way? And he says, no, I don't feel that way because we grew up together and we were told there are opportunities for them. He just says, no, this is what the children are going through now. So that really made me feel bad. And I hung up the phone and I said, well, what can I do? I'm only one person. And I said, what can I do? Well, then I came up with a concept. I said, we can have a TV show and we can address this issue because no mainstream media is addressing this issue. So what I did was I reached out to Bishop Birket and I spoke with him and I said, I have this concept that I'd like to discuss and we'll have a TV show. And he said, absolutely. So this, again, to aspire, to seek, to attain, or accomplish a particular goal, such as a particular career or level of success. The mission of today's show is to inspire our youth. There are opportunities out there. I want you to understand that you should dream and then strive and reach your dreams. Very important. That's that message. I cannot tell you. I cannot emphasize how important that is. You must dream and reach your goals. So in this process, I said, well, who can I reach out? Who can help me and tell their story and for their hardships and road to success? So what I did was I reached out to some of my childhood friends who were very successful and they just happened to be musicians. So the first person I called up, Bervin Harris, and Bervin, he is the CEO of Renaissance Music with a Message youth program, and that's how far it developed. It was just Renaissance, now it's Renaissance Music with a Message youth program because it's developed. And this school is located in the South Bronx. It's on 3rd Avenue, right by 167th and 3rd Avenue. If you live in the Bronx, you have Boston Post Road and 3rd Avenue. You have McDonald's there, and just a few blocks north of that. And it's a beautiful school. Bervin is a professional singer, producer, songwriter. His genre of music is R&B as well as gospel. He has music out there. He's produced large acts over his career, as well as he has his music school. Now, with his resume, he could open up a music school in any area of New York City or New York State or any state in the country, but he decided to open up a music school here in the South Bronx because he felt it was necessary to give to our inner city youth a music education that was quality. And I totally agree because as I practice medicine, it's all about education. It's not always about the pill. Anyone could prescribe the pill. It's about the education. And the education is to get you from one point to another point, and that is a success story. So I did a live interview. The live interview was 2 weeks ago because unfortunately due to a prior engagement, he couldn't be here on set with me. So what we did was I taped a show at the Javits Center. Both Bervin and I were invited to be part of the WBLS Circle of Sisters, where I was giving free medical consultations, and Bervin and his music students were performing for the attendees. And over a 2-day period, there's anywhere between 30 to 40,000 individuals or community members from New York City got to visit the convention. So what I'd like to do is, why don't we go to the tape and you see Bervin and I during having a nice interview and talking about everything he's doing with the community.
I'm here with Bervin Harris of Renaissance, Music with a Message. We're here at the Jacob Javits Center during the WBLS Circle of Sisters Gala. Bervin, welcome to the Ask Dr. Tommy O Show.
Glad to be here, man. Having a great time here.
Yeah, we're having a wonderful time, and we're going to experience you and your students perform music, and then we will have a nice interview and discussing your background and how you give back to the community.
Nice. Look forward to it.
All right.
Awesome. Good evening, folks. My name is Dee Thomas, Assistant Director Special Events from Metro Plus Health Plan. And we're happy to be here to join my man Tommy O'Brien, a major health activist in the community. We're here reaching out to all our young people, our youth, or just everyone in general to let them know about all the different services we at Metro Plus have and the different things that we're involved in that can keep our youth occupied, educated, moving in the right direction. We're involved with the Harlem Goju Association. It's a free martial arts program that has 11 locations around New York City. It doesn't cost anything. People can come out, learn martial arts, be a part of the community. We're also involved with Harlem Men Stand Up, which is a men's mentoring group. We started out trying to get the young brothers that were making babies back in with their families and involved with the families. And now what we're trying to do is a movement, trying to get the family back together, and because the family that prays together, works out together, is definitely going to stay together. So once again, I'd like to appreciate my buddy Tommy O for inviting us out and letting us know to let all our young folks to keep your head up. And if nobody's told you that they love you today, I do. Thank you much, Tommy.
Thank you, baby.
All right. That was a nice piece we had there. Again, you know, Bervin and I were childhood friends, and we went to school together from kindergarten straight up and graduated high school. We had the same mentors. Those big brothers and teachers and parents, because we came from a family that was strong family values and encouraged us. And this is our community that we grew up with, really encouraged us to be something special. I always say when my patients come into me, I always say, you know, especially when they're adolescent or young adults and they're not sure what they want to be, because I will ask them, you know, what do you want to be with yourself? They're not sure. And I say, well, God's given us, all of us, a gift. You need to find what that gift is. And then what you do is you take that gift and you work it and you make it into a business. And why? You have a passion for it, and that's going to show in your work. I'll give an example for myself. For me, I was an athlete. You know, I did very well in sports, and anyone know me, you know, played varsity, went to college for sports. I did very well. But also, my gift was biology. Biology came real easy to me. I didn't have to study, I got A's. I'm not, you know, promoting not to study. It's just that for me, biology and science just came really easy. You know, another gift that was given was that I'm able to communicate with a lot of people and to make friends easy, as well as I'm able to take a very complex subject and then break it down into something simple, especially when it comes to medicine. So as a family physician, what do I do with my patients? My patients come in and I really sit down, I break it down, and I really want to understand who they are and what they want to be. A lot of times, and so those of you who don't know me, I practice in the South Bronx for 17 years. So the patients that I see, a lot of them come from a dysfunctional family. They might have only one parent and they don't have a positive role model. So I take on that responsibility. I challenge myself and I take that responsibility on because I still have my parents. They're super supportive. They back me 100%. As well as my family. I have I always say that my better half, my high school sweetheart, who's my current sweetheart, Kathy, I call her Jelly Bean. She supports me. Baby Cakes. I'm getting the two mixed. And then I have two 16-year-olds, and that's Jelly Bean and Cookie. But we support each other, and they help me reach my goal as well as I help them reach their goal, because that's how it was in my family. So getting back to my practice, I take my family values and I instill it into my practice. And Bervin, as you just were introduced to, he's the same way with his discipline when it comes to music. The second person that you saw on this in the videotape was Dee Thomas. Darryl is a very close friend of mine. He's a former Marine. He's also the director for community outreach for Metro Plus. And we worked on several programs over the past 10 years. Giving back to the community, enriching the community with health education. When we see young children, we try to encourage them to move to the next level. A lot of times, all you need to do is just give that little nudge of encouragement. Just a friendly smile, a handshake, a hug, a positive word, and that's what we do. He's very involved with a lot of community activities in his personal life as well. But going back to what I do, like I said, I'm more of a physician, more like a big brother. And then shortly I'm going to have a guest, a very close friend of mine. I call him, he is the Bishop of the Bronx, and he is Bishop Birket, and he's like another father to me. And I'm going to bring him on the set soon, and then we're going to discuss going over how we handle and improve our youth.
Yes. And the whole effort of coming together is to meet the needs of God's people. And we talk about the needs of God's people, we're talking about the young people. Right. And we've seen all kinds of crazy things going on in the media. We see, Taliban, and we see all the, children are just being abused right. because of the fact that we've lost our sensitivity for children. We got away from the fact that they are a blessing right. from God. And in many cases, people fear them because of some built-up feeling that the way they look. Well, they're gonna dress the way the culture is today, but that doesn't mean that they're bad children.
That's right. That's right. Well, as I opened up the show is to aspire. And for us, we inspire. So you want to aspire, and us as positive role models, as the bishop, when we say we are the God Squad, you have the ministry, the spiritual minister, right, as well as I am the health minister. We're here to inspire you, the children, and the viewers, to encourage the youth in your community, within your block and within your school, to set a goal and reach that goal.
Well, all of us have been children. Some people, you get older and you forget that you're a child. And as I was ministering at the church last Sunday, how when I grew up in Harlem, it was, you couldn't make it, and you weren't going to make it, and but the aspirations were there, and you can make it,
right.
and the opportunities are there, but it takes an effort.
Yes,
it takes an effort.
Yes.
And I know even then there were gangs and all those kinds of things, but there was yet role models,
right.
and hopefully, as this program unfolds, we're going to get some of those role models.
Right. Well, it's important to to really speak to the children. Something very important. You don't speak down to them. You use the language they understand. The last thing you want to do is turn them off. I always say you don't want to put a child down. And what was really bothered me is over the summer, like I said at the very beginning, back in July, this was during the Trayvon and Zimmerman case, I watched an interview and I was disgusted. There was an interview with his football coach, and he was talking about how Trayvon had some aspiration, and the coach kind of like talked him down. And I was like, as an adult, you never ever talk a kid down, because if you pumped him up and you challenged him to step up, this may have never happened. This whole event, it might have been, everything might have been different. But when you talk down to a child, you turn them off, and they become resentful, and they become bitter, and they start to look for affection, love somewhere else. Where do they get it? The local gangs, the guys on the street, the pimps, the drug dealers. Why? Those guys are going to show them love. They're going to show a fancy car, they'll flash some cash, they're going to have jewelry. That's the wrong message. Well, we want someone positive, someone like the bishop. He's in the community. You're talking almost, 40 years?
Yeah, 40 years.
40 years.
Ministering, right. Mm-hmm.
Ministering, educating with his youth program, and that's both adults and children, really reaching out and really driving and being an important part of the community, and pushing, having phone calls, right. 12 o'clock at night, discussing how we can improve the community.
Well, I wasn't always a pastor. Before I became a pastor, I was a basketball coach, and I worked with young people right off the streets, bringing them in to forming them as teams. I think I had about 4 or 5 teams. And we used to work with kids from 12 years all the way to Biddy League, all the way up to college. And the main thing was inspiring them that you can go to college and that you didn't have to just, give up. But we made the sport an opportunity for them. And I think I placed about 20 kids into college and about 4 or 5 of them eventually into the NBA. But that was because there was somebody there to tell them, you can do it, and right. You can go to this. Some kids were scared to actually go out of the city. Say, you sending me to Oklahoma? You sending me to Kansas? What's going to happen when I get there? But then when they got there, they found that there's a whole world of opportunities. Absolutely. And there are people there that were there to encourage them. And education, yeah, it's the key. I don't care what you get and how much money you make. It all goes back to your education. And if you're able to do that, then when all the basketball and the talent and the rappers and all the fame, because fame is only for a certain amount of time. But when it's past and you don't have a good education, you're going to fall through the cracks. But there's always someone there, like Reverend Birket as a pastor, trusting in God to say, look, you can get up, start all over again, and you can still make it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't want to name drop, but what was the famous basketball player? He's come to a couple of your events over the past year, over the several years.
Yeah, several years. That's Julius Allen.
Yes.
And then there was another ball player named Ed Pinckney.
Yes.
Some people have seen him. And then it was Ray Williams who played for me. And some people remember him. Many of those are gone on and they're entrepreneurs right now. But they were there as young people. Some of them were knuckleheads, but they were able to take some good discipline.
Right.
But the main thing is I made sure that there was a godliness, there was a God presence, and that I had to practice what I preach. And a lot of people don't do that. They tell young people, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. And you know what happened? They end up doing something, they're doing opposite. They're telling them what to do, but at the same time, they're doing it. I tell them, you shouldn't take drugs, they take drugs. You shouldn't smoke, they smoke.
Right.
You shouldn't drink, but they drink. And so we've got to realize as adults that whatever happens to our children is exactly what we portray before them.
Right. It becomes a reflection of who you are.
Yeah.
And we want to portray ourselves as a positive role model. So you have to watch your language, and you have to watch your body language, your verbal language, and how you communicate. You can't, you have to practice what you preach. And with me, within my practice, I practice what I preach. I have a master's in clinical nutrition, so when my patients come in, I'm telling them you need to do this, and then they look and see how I eat and see that I train and I'm in good shape. Well, that's something that was instilled in me at a very young age. Again, from my parents, encouraging me to be the best I can be, and that's what to aspire is, to be the best you can be. What I'd like you to do is I challenge you, everyone, our viewing audience, to either become a big brother or big sister if you're an adult. If you are an adolescent or you're in college, challenge yourself and say, how can I better myself this year? Next year I want to be better than I am this year. And for young children, same thing. I'll look to improve your grades because we look at report cards, and that's how you challenge yourself. Each what we call semester in college, but each marking period in school, you want to improve your grades. Why? You will do better in life. You're going to be more successful, and that's what this is about, to inspire, to improve yourself through your career and whatever you choose in life. Remember, life is about relationships. This will also roll into your relationship with your husband or your wife, and then with your children, and you're going to pass on these positive family values.
Well, I would like to talk to pastors and religious leaders out there, and especially because in many of our churches, we place our children secondary. Oh, you got the adults, you got the elders, you got the ministers, and all these people. And then finally, you might have the children in mind in your plan. But in my church, children are number one. And Jesus had the same problem 2,000 years ago when the disciples were wanted to push the children away. Jesus was there and he was ministering, and they said, well, you don't have time for the children. And you know what he said? He said, wait a minute, you guys are wrong. Suffer little children to come unto me. I want the children to come unto me. I want to put children first. And let me tell you, if you put children first in your church, then you've got the church of Jesus Christ. Mm-hmm. If you put children first in your church, and even you set up a role model for even parents to put children first. But they have to be starting right there in the church where you bring the children forward, let them, invest in them. We have scholarship programs. Let the church raise money and put children into college, support their endeavors to be whatever they want to be. And when you do that, you've planted within them the kind of support seeds that will take them a long way. So this is a message to pastors.
Right, absolutely. I'll just give an example as a testimony. The bishop and I, out of our pocket, I'm talking about our pocket, not even the church's pool of money, out of our pocket, we donated money so we could send our youth, some with scholarships, to BronxNet so they can learn and come into the studio and learn how to use the equipment that we see here in the studio. So they learn how to edit, they learn how to use the camera, they learn how to go out on site and interview individuals. So we did that. Yes, we're fortunate, we have the extra money. We're not millionaires. It's just that I would rather spend the little extra money I have in helping to enrich our children than running down to Atlantic City and blowing money on gambling, because once that money's gone, it's gone. I know if I invest in a child, that I know that I'm going to get my money back through their achievement, because they're going to be productive in life.
Well, I'll tell you, the children's future is our future. How and the lifestyle that we're going to live in the years to come is going to be based on what we place in our children. Our children can be lawless or they could be law-abiding. Yes. Okay, we put time into them. And we're going to live in a society of lawlessness based on where we've invested. If we invested in our children, I'll tell you, the system, the government, looks to imprison young people. That's what they're looking for. If you go to the prisons and the jail, you'll find them, they're just loaded with children. And what's happening there? They've taken time to educate children how to become criminals. Because every kid that goes into jail on a minor crime, he's going to meet somebody in there who's going to tell them, okay, this is how you can do it better. And if they're not rehabilitated, and I'm going to tell you, prisons do not rehabilitate anyone. All right, they learn how to come out and be worse than when they went in. Right. And so we're going to have to change that whole thing around by taking time and effort and investing because whatever we invest in now in our youth will determine our future for tomorrow.
Absolutely. Getting back to the prison,
Right.
unfortunately, they're going to look for other role models, and they'll seek out and find role models within the prison, and then the lesson that they learn is not the lesson that we want to see in the street. It's just they become bitter, angry, and then they will strike out, and that's something we don't want. We want to encourage our children to aspire. I'm going to keep going back to that word, aspire. Let's define that word one more time. It's actually a phrase, it's not even a word. To aspire, to seek to attain, or to accomplish a particular goal, such as a particular career or level of success. That is to aspire. And I challenge you, the bishop, we both challenge you to aspire. We're here to inspire. We challenge you to aspire, to better yourself with your relationship with the Lord, to better yourself with your relationship with your parents, to better yourself with your relationship with your siblings, to better yourself with your community. And now we're going to start seeing a difference, because you see how we took one little message and we kept expanding it. We took it where it was nuclear, right? And then we started to expand, so it became global. And if everyone does that, then you're going to see our community really step up, and you'll see a difference.
Well, there's a scripture in the Bible that deals with inspiring. It said, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. That's a powerful scripture, and you can live on it and you can hold on it, because God will never fail you. And no matter what you're going through, He will never fail you. So I want you to hold that scripture and let it be an inspiration to everyone that's watching this program, that you can do all things through Christ that strengthens you. And that means God will always open up a way of opportunity. All you have to do is trust in Him.
This is a really good start here. Well, right now we're going to go to a live show. You're going to see Bervin Harris, CEO of Renaissance, Music with a Message. This was taped at Jacob Javits Center live. This was during WBLS's Circle of Sisters. Enjoy the show. Executive Director, Dr. Thomas G. O'Brien II of Health Education Learning Programs, Inc., addressed the Black community's feeling of helplessness and hopelessness. This show was a collaboration with BronxNet, Lehman College, Bishop Dr. Timothy Birket and Dr. Thomas G. O'Brien II, supported by Diamond Accounting, Church Life Community Church, Health Education Learning Programs, Inc., TransJazz, and Prospect Avenue Pharmacy. Dr. Tommy O dedicated this show to his hometown, Freeport, New York. Remember to dream and make those dreams come true. God bless Dr. Tommy O.